Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is RED DISSECTION breaking down Manchester United draw at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace FC. It was a proverbial game of two halves. Manchester United dominated the first half in terms of chances, in terms of possession, in terms of touches in the box, but we couldn't score. Former Red D. Henderson in their goal was excellent, but we weren't clinical, we weren't taking our chances. To be honest, all throughout the match, we created a lot of chances, but we didn't look like scoring. It didn't look like we were confident in front of goal. Of course, Bruno wasting a couple of more chances. Garnacho's chances were a bit difficult. But overall, I think Crystal Palace had the best chances. Eze missing the goal twice, and of course, Sarr missing that tap in of the rebound from Onana. Of course, a wonderful save, probably the best save of the season it could be. But overall, I think it wasn't an inspired performance like many would have you believe. We were in control till Xerxes and Christian Eriksen and Ahmad were taken off. I think the manager and the substitutions are clearly to be blamed for the draw, as well as a catastrophic performance from the captain himself. Coming to the statistics, of course, we dominated the ball in terms of possession. We had 15 shots to their 9. We had 5 big chances to their 3. But I think Crystal Palace, when they made the changes, bringing in Lama, they were more combative. And after we made those changes, taking off the likes of Xerxes and Christian Eriksen and Ahmad, I think we lost the plot. He couldn't even pass 5 yards after that. Bruno Fernandes playing his hand grenade football, and even the likes of Hoyling looking really unpolished. He couldn't even control the ball in the final third. Rashford was anonymous. He didn't get anything. Ugarte was abysmal with the ball. I thought he was doing a roadrunner act in midfield. He was just running and kicking people around. Couldn't pass 5 yards. I was so frustrated with his performance. So I think the manager has to take the blame for the draw. Against a poor Crystal Palace side, especially the first half, Crystal Palace was so poor and we couldn't finish that. I think that will be the story of the season going forward under this manager. Coming to player ratings, starting with Onana, world class save. Some other good saves, smart saves as well, but that double save was excellent. We've always criticized his ability or inability to stop shots, but I thought that save alone was one of the best saves you see all season. So a good performance for Onana. Nusser MAZRAOui, I thought he was the man of the match. He was accomplished in possession, really kept Eze quiet. Eze didn't appear happy at all in the match until he went to Dalo's side and got him the yellow card on a run in the second half. MAZRAOui did an excellent job, both in attack and defense. And I think this is the quietest I've seen Eze ever. I think the credit goes to MAZRAOui. Matthijs de Ligt also had a good game, tremendous in the air, was good on the ball, was very industrious. Obviously, the last line of defense, I thought he's looking more like a leader every day. I think he can be a good signing for Manchester United going forward. Lisandro Martinez, I thought that tackle alone deserves 1 rating. It was terrible. One of the worst tackles I've seen in years. Thought he was timid on the ball again. He looked so afraid even to attempt the defense-splitting passes that we were seeing from him in year 1. I think defensively he's becoming a liability with a lack of physicality and recovery pace. I think he's the one who's been targeted, and you can see more cracks coming into his game the more he plays, and I think it's a worrying sign for us. The fullbacks were excellent going forward. Defensively, Dalo was in trouble too much, apart from the tackle on Eze. Attacking wise, he did struggle coming into the midfield, inverting. He just looks lost there. On the wing, he can cross a ball, do those step overs, and go on the outside. But inside, coming in, apart from taking long shots, he doesn't have the passing, nor he has the intelligence to play in that kind of inverted position in midfield. Coming to midfield, to Christian Eriksen, another great performance. He did the first half, the tempo of the match. He was excellent in possession, and he completely showed Bruno Fernandes in terms of technique. He played the number 10 role in midweek and was excellent, and even in midfield I thought he was excellent. He was a lot better than Bruno or even Kobe Mainoo. Mainoo was again horrendous. I think he's dying out there. I don't think this is his position. He should play a lot more advanced, maybe in the number 10 role. I think also he looks a bit burnt out with that tournament in the summer. He looks gassed. He doesn't seem to have the engine to track back and play in midfield. I thought he looked lost in midfield today. Ahmad had a difficult first half, but I thought in the second half he was our brightest player with Xerxes. Overall, I thought it was a quiet game for Ahmad. Not his best, but he was one of the better players for sure on the show, and especially in the second half. Talent to me is his lack of killer instinct. Maybe his confidence down, but he's not getting in those goal-scoring position, not taking on shots, even though he did go outside once and created one of the opportunities. But I thought overall he was one of our better players. Bruno Fernandes, captain, catastrophic. abysmal, absolute garbage. And this is what happens. The moment we keep him out of the team or take him out, we look a lot better, we look a lot more composed, and structurally we look more decent and organized. The last 20 minutes when Christian Eriksen had gone, Ahmad had gone, Xerxes had gone, he came to fall with his absolute garbage performance, losing the ball for no reason under no pressure. This is the bet we have made for ourselves, and I think we have to lie on it and die on it until we are able to get rid of this player from the squad. Garnacho started on fire, had one opportunity on his left, then on his right, hit the crossbar, was bright, troubling the right wing back Munoz. I thought overall he was doing good, but he soon died out. Obviously, in the second half, he was pushed to the right flank when Ahmad was taken off, and I couldn't see him after that, especially against someone like Mitchell who has got the pace to counter his pace. But in the first 30 to 40 minutes, I thought he was one of our brightest players. Xerxes, even though he didn't have any opportunity to score, he was involved in all our build-up. All the chances we create, he was involved in one or the second or the tertiary step of the process. His intelligence, his off-the-ball movement, his first touch, his close control are all exemplary. I just think he just needs goals now. As a striker, one needs goals to justify their position in the team. But overall, apart from the goals, he's been excellent and long may it continue. All the substitutions impacted us negatively. Starting with Marcus Rashford, of course, he was brought on for Xerxes. I think we lost a lot more than we gained in that substitution. Obviously, Rashford didn't have too many touches because he doesn't play that kind of football. He doesn't get involved in build-up. He doesn't have that close control or even composure to play in that position like that and get other people involved. Obviously, he was running behind, but there were no passes coming. Because, we were playing with control. We needed somebody who can get involved in build-up, and Rashford cannot do that. And then he was pushed to the left-hand side where he wasn't involved. He didn't look like he wanted to take on Munoz or trouble the defense. He looked tired, he looked uninterested, and a really deflating performance after his 2 goals in the week. Manuel Ugarte came on in for Christian Eriksen, and our offensive game completely died after the substitution. Ahmad was taken off at the same time for Rasmus Højlund, but losing Christian Eriksen, we didn't have any creativity in midfield. Ugarte looked lost, running around, playing like headless chicken, just like Martinez was playing in our defense. I was really surprised the fact that he didn't even take on 5-yard passes. He was afraid to even advance the ball forward for 5 yards. He was just passing sideways. Really terrible performance from Ugarte. Rasmus Højlund, the lesser said the better. He's been out for a couple of months, so we can excuse his lack of sharpness, but his first touch, lack of stability on his feet, he was just slipping all over the place, couldn't control the ball. The first ball that came to him, the first pass that he received on his chin and it bounced off like pinball. It was terrible to see. Obviously, the difference between his technique and his ability to bring other players in, contrasting with someone like Xerxes, is huge. Something that you cannot overcome at this stage of his career. I think their partnership could be a good thing with Xerxes dropping deep and Højlund stretching the defense, but it remains to be seen. And hopefully, inshallah, when Bruno gets dropped, if he gets dropped, then we can see that duo up front for Manchester United. Overall, keeping Christian Eriksen in midfield was a brave move. It was paying off, but I don't think we were that dominant apart from controlling the ball, and most of the passes were backward or sideways in our defense. People were saying that we were playing with high line, but we weren't. Both Martinez and De Ligt were 20 yards inside our own half, and that was concerning. Gaps started to appear in the second half in terms of the defense and the forward line and the empty midfield, and you could see Eze running through the midfield, and even Ismail Sarr troubling our midfielders and our central defenders, and they started creating chances. Obviously, when Christian Eriksen, Xerxes, and Ahmad went off, we completely lost the plot. It's down completely to the manager, and he has to take the blame for it. I think what this has shown is that we are still a decent cup team, and if we get that proverbial luck of the draw in terms of teams that we can easily beat, lower league teams or weak teams, if we get that, then I think we can progress in the cup. Reality is, in league, we are completely shown, we are completely exposed, and the fact that we have no pattern of play, we have no ability to control matches and the outcome. We don't have any fixed style of play. We don't have patterns of football. The extent to which we are good on a day is proportional to how bad the other team is. If we get a team like Barnsley, if we get a Crystal Palace having an off game in the first half, then we look decent. But if we get a good team playing decently. I completely there to be taken and clobbered and humiliated. I thought in the second half, especially in those last 10 to 15 minutes, we look completely gassed. We look completely clueless, and we never look like scoring. We never look like we can come back and create those opportunities in the last 10 or 15 minutes or even extra time and seize that game and that opportunity in that clutch moment. I think we lack the players for that, and especially with the likes of Captain Catastrophic. I think we are not going anywhere as a club and a football team under this manager and under a loser like that as a captain. Inshallah, against FC20, we see better. I think we can get something out of that. I think Europa League could be our best chance to get back into the Champions League. So we'll be back with the Red Prep show for that match. So until then, take care, do good, pray for Palestinians and all the oppressed people all across the globe. Assalamu alaikum.